Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video guys, we're gonna be putting the engine back together for the B14. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this right here, this engine point, or this engine hook, this hoist hook I guess if when you call it, so I can have more space for when it's time to clamp over with the valve spring compressor. Yeah. I'm gonna put this in a little Ziploc baggie and label it. Really don't have to label it, put engine hook on it, because I mean, where else would this go? But for like tools with parts, for like it's the first time you're seeing them and stuff like that, the first time you turn apart this engine or something, you want to make sure you write down. And over here behind me I have this label right here, split in half. You probably can't see the writing from right there. But yeah, this writing right here says exhaust, and then this writing over here says intake, and then we have a line separating them. So just simple stuff so we can tell the difference. I don't think it matters if we mess these cams up, these caps up but I do want to organize them to make sure they go back in the right place. For the cams, for the valves, I don't think you can mix them up because I think the intake valves are slightly larger than the exhaust valves. Either or, don't quote me on that, one of them. But either way, you still want to label them. So I don't have my magnet, so I'm using one of my clip picks for when you're doing electrical work. I'm using one of those. There's a little groove on them, so I'm not doing any damage, so no need for cringing. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these as well. Let me show you what I'm talking about since you guys can't see. Dear God, this is where I wish I had my trusty magnet. Man, RIP to my magnet, man. We've had good times together. But anyways, this is what I'm talking about. These little washers for the cylinder head studs, I'm gonna go ahead and remove them because I don't want to lose any of them. Because remember, in order to get this thing over the cylinder head, you're gonna be like manipulating the cylinder head, turning it, moving it around. And sometimes these sit in there, sometimes the oil left over on them will let it sit in the little recess it's in, but sometimes they'll fall out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take them off for good measure. These I'm not gonna label them wherever they go. They're just washers. So yeah. Spring is compressed, and then I can just take out the collet. Now I wish I had my magnetic piece, but there you go. You can just go ahead and just remove the little collet right there, and make sure you label these bad boys. Man, I wish I had my little magnet. I'm gonna pick up a magnet when I go to pick up the RTV, because this is gonna be a pain in the ass to do this without a magnet. But yeah, you're gonna do that. What, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 more times. Here's the first half of the other cullet. If it'll fucking focus. Alright, let's focus on getting out the rest of them. I know you guys are probably missing out over here, but I press it down. Let me see if I can get a way to show you guys what I'm actually doing here. So I get the clamp on there, as you guys can see. So I get the clamp on there, everything is secured, and then usually this is where your magnet comes in, but of course I fucked up. But luckily this little pick I have is not magnetizing the tip. It's some cheap shit, but I guess it spent so much time around a magnet, it's developed some characteristics. He's been pure pressured, you know what I mean? He got influenced by his friends. But anyways, this is where we're at right now. Follow where my finger is. This is where we're at right now. This is where we're working with in here, inside this chamber. So those are the little cullets holding on to the pin right there. So when everything's compressed, you can just come in here with a magnet or with a little pick and separate them really easy. There you go. There's your, oh, it's on the end of this, you can't really see it, but here it is right here in my hand. That's the first half of it. Just knock the second half off. God damn it. And there you have the second one. You got both of them now. Then you just release this carefully so you can reduce the, you know, this collet pin flying too far away. And then there you have it. You removed your valve stems. I mean your collet pin, your retaining cap, and your spring, which would then allow you to remove your valves. Alright guys, quick update. Got everybody labeled right here. Got the caps and the cylinder head bolt washers right there. And we have all the mechanisms here for the valve train pretty much. Got the springs, the caps, and the cullets are underneath the springs, as well as the valves. Intake valves, exhaust valves. Intake valves are larger than the exhaust valves, which makes sense. I have my bird beak pliers, my needle nose, and I'm gonna get me the torch that you use to light these things up right here. Yeah, that's Babe's rig right there. Things you use to light that hookah thing up, that little torch, lighter torch. I'm gonna just torch them up for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you can just pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pull. And when I'm counting, I mean like I'm heating it that long. Then we come and pull it out. Easy. Might smell like a little bit of burning plastic in here, but it gets the job done without me having to wait for a special tool. So yeah. So let me go find wherever that torch is somewhere, and let's get to removing these bad boys. I stopped recording because I was running into many failures, but we're getting along. Took out all these already. Okay guys, so I made it a vow to myself that I'm gonna get the correct tool, because the last time around I did this, I did it with the torch and just the pliers. It was so easy, it was not a mess. Now this, it left quite a mess. Nothing's damaged though, but it's just, I'm gonna have to do some cleanup. More than I anticipated. Not that I'm worried about it, but you know. Can you guys see? Well, these ones over here, I just was prying at it mostly. But over here, where I burnt it, there's some like charred remains of that stuff. Let's see if I can get you guys to see that. Yeah, you guys see all that little gunk and stuff in there? All that stuff is like charred remains and shit. So yeah, so that's where we're at right now. So what I'm about to do is, I got some good old brake cleaner right here. I'm about to go ahead and take a step outside and just lean this up at an angle and just spray it out, because I don't need in here to be stinking of brake cleaner. I don't need any headaches right now. Okay guys, got the little pancake set up. Yeah, I know I have a leak from that brand new fitting from Diablo. Piece of shit. The devil is a piece of shit. Anyways, this shit is not, it has a little leak, but it'll get the job done. Anyways, what I wanted to do is just dust these out now. I cleaned it up really nice already, but I just wanted to just dust it out. You know, get as much debris out as possible. Yeah, it's not airing up back right now because I turned it off. That's all I really needed it for. And oh shit, I displaced one of the spring seats. It's on the way over here now. But yeah, everybody seems to be in place besides that one, so let's just put that one back in place. That scared the fuck out of me. And there we go. So it's back in place now. Everybody's sitting right there. Just was watching some videos from HP Academy, you know, just to make sure I'm doing everything properly. You know me, I want to make sure I'm doing everything right, because we don't have time for catastrophic engine failure. We don't have time for that shit, nor the money. So did all my research and stuff, and it turns out this little shim right here serves a very important purpose, because we have an aluminum head and we don't want the metal shim to be pressing against, you know, you don't want it to be in direct contact with the soft aluminum head. So that's the purpose of this shim. Alright, let's dip it in some oil first. guys can hear the sound of the metal. But after doing a few, after I did these 4, I can like feel a groove now coming on where I know. Unless these valves are worn at different rates. I mean these guides, I mean. I also want to change, when I rebuild the race motor, I want to change the guides. Because you're supposed to hear when you run your valve stems, when you run your valve stems through these holes, you're supposed to hear a bloop, because there's a vacuum being created as you pull it out or something like that. But when I tried that with some of these holes, I didn't hear anything. They just went in and went out. I didn't hear any sound. So, but like they said, where there are worn valve stem seals, there are more than likely worn valve stem guides as well. So I guess, but this is a GA16s are old engines, so that's kind of expected. I kind of leaned that one on. I didn't put that one on straight. I hope that really didn't fuck it up, considering I have oil on it. Now it's seated properly. Guys, as you guys can see, those are the green dots look sexy in those holes. That shit looks awesome. Look at that, all done, all looking real nice too. And I only fucked up on one of them. It's not damaged or anything, but I was starting to install it at an angle, on an improper crooked angle. So yeah, the key is, they're not straight, they're at a slight degree. So you just want to just keep this centered as possible in the hole, and then you'll be fine. Okay, all done, guys, all done. Well, let's do these pistons first, because that's literally going to be easy. And considering I did not order oversized piston rings, which means we'd have to file them down to get the correct gap size. These gap size should be already preset, but we're just gonna go ahead and check them. So let's go ahead and go do that. Alright guys, we got our piston rings all laid out and stuff. Red bag is the first, blue bag is the second, and this is the oil right here. I already disassembled an old piston that I had laying around. Took it off so we can fit the so we can test the ring gaps. And in order to do that, we gotta put them in the blocks squarely. I don't have the installation tool, so another easy way is to just use a piston. It's gonna go in there square, when you put it in there. So yeah, I'm gonna go look. My feeler gauges are in one of those drawers. I'm gonna go find them. And what else? Yeah, I wanted to show you guys something. I just noticed this just now. So all I have is GA16 engines in here, except for the rotary, of course. But when I was trying to look for a piston to use, look at this one, guys. This piston has two sets of rings, right? But look at this one. This one has 3 sets of rings. No, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but based on, you know, when I was just getting into turbo cars and stuff, they're saying the ones with 3 sets of piston rings would be good, and that's the set that I ordered stuff for, it turns out, because that has first and second on it. But look at my pistons. My piston only has 1, then an oil set. That's it. So that's so strange to me, guys. These pistons did not come out of the engine I just pulled down, yet the kit that I ordered, you know, has stuff for it. I mean, this one, 1 ring, 2 ring. See, this is a set of 3 rings, and this one is a set of 2, even though they're both from a GA16. Crazy. Alright guys, so I just did some research. It looks like I ordered the wrong piston rings. The ones that I ordered were for 89 to 94 actually, and I have a 95. So, and the ones that are 95s are out of stock. So I was wondering, how the hell does my pistons have 2 and that one has 3? But it sounds about right. It sounds like that piston, that block is from a 9. I don't even know if it's from a 94, but it seems to be a 94, since a 94 kit comes with 3 sets of rings. So yeah guys, I fucked up. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead now and get my my valves ready to be installed. I'm gonna be using some assembly lube. I don't know if you guys have any of this stuff, but it's made by CRC. Oh, sorry. It's made by CRC. They make brake cleaners. Well, this is not a plug, but I think this is the if I'm not mistaken, this is the assembly lube they use at HP Academy in their engine building course, and I thought it would just be a good idea to just get whatever the teacher is using. I mean, how can you go wrong that way? So yeah, our spring mesh is in there. So this is the intake side. Oh yeah, that's tight. That's tight. That seal right there, because remember, you gotta push the valve through the valve stem seal on the other side. Yeah, I can feel the resistance. There's more, like the same pressure I applied yesterday to push these out, to pull them out. I'm applying that same pressure, and the grip from the stem, the grip from the new one of these valve stem seals is holding the stem of the valve in place. So that shows that these were a bit worn, considering with the same amount of pressure, it's harder to push them out now. Well, while these were in, they just slid right out. So that's a good sign. Okay, so see guys, I already installed the intake side. Now it's time to install the exhaust side, which is over there. It's very easy to do, very easy. It's just fidangling with the collets. That's annoying, but the assembly lube actually does help. I need to also invest in a like how I have an engine block stand, I need to invest in some stands for the cylinder heads. That would help me a lot too. So yeah, progress is being made guys. Next clip, exhaust valves will be in. Okay guys, both exhaust and intake valves are in. Everything is in, everything is looking lovely. And now it's a good time to go over and inspect, but I inspected each one afterwards, but everybody's in place. So now what we're gonna do is just put our cams back in. Probably should be lubing these up, but I don't have any oil. They're still pretty oily though, as you can see. Alright, everybody is down. I'm not gonna put my head studs in because, I mean not my head studs, but my head stud washers. Because even though when they're coated in oil like this, they just seat against the aluminum, but sometimes they tend to fall out. So since we're not completely done, I'm going to just put them in some sandwich baggies. I don't have any I don't have the right piston ring, so we can't assemble anything right now, so we're kind of stuck right here. So I'm gonna go on the old internet and see if I can find somebody, because Partsology does have the 1995 ones, but they just don't have any in stock. So I'm gonna have to go find where it has some on such short notice, because I want to be able to drive this car by next week, because I want to go in for some overtime. So yeah, this is where we're gonna leave it for now, guys. So hopefully by this week we should be getting some piston rings. See you guys then.